Real English for your daily life.
Master English together.
Ever sat down to work or study, and the second your phone buzzes, your whole focus just disappears?
Yeah, that notification sound feels like a little bomb going off in your brain, splintering your attention into a million pieces.
This episode is perfect for B1 and B2 learners. Beginners, you're more than welcome too. We're diving into something everyone struggles with: digital distractions.
You know, the kind that sneak up on you when you're about to get serious, just when you're ready to focus. Bam! A message pops up and suddenly hours slip away.
I bet many of us have been stuck in that exact spot. You got work piled up or an important report to finish, but your brain keeps getting pulled away by social apps, emails, or endless pop-ups.
And it's not just annoying, it's downright frustrating. You feel like you have all the time in the world, yet tasks remain unfinished. The worst part? That guilt and pressure build up, making it even harder to get back on track.
Quick question. How many times do you think you get interrupted every hour when you work? 10? 20? It's probably more than you guess.
Those constant interruptions cause something called attention fragmentation. It's a brain thing that means your focus keeps breaking down into tiny pieces, and it makes finishing anything on time almost impossible.
But here's some good news. We discovered 3 simple research-backed steps that can help you build real focus in a digital world that's designed to steal it away.
We're talking easy, practical methods. No fancy tech or complicated strategies, just common sense steps that fit right into your day.
And I'm guessing you're probably listening to this while scrolling on your phone, or maybe even getting distracted right now. It's okay, we get it. That's exactly what we want to help you fix.
Yeah, maybe put the phone down for a second while you listen. Your brain will thank you later.
Stay with us until the end for our word tour, where we'll break down 5 key expressions that not only sound great but connect directly to what we're talking about today.
And later on, Sarah's got one tiny but powerful trick to share that might just change how you handle distractions forever. But first,
let's unpack what's really happening when those distractions hit and why it feels like your brain is stuck in a loop of checking and rechecking everything instead of just focusing. Let's start with a real scene. You sit down, you open your laptop, and for a full 10 seconds, everything feels possible.
Then your phone lights up, your shoulders tense, and your focus gets sliced in half before you've typed one word.
That tiny moment feels harmless, but it can turn into a whole afternoon of distraction.
And that's the trap. People think, I'll just check one message. But that one check becomes 3 apps, 2 videos, and a very strange detour into someone else's breakfast.
Yes, and suddenly you're staring at a screen like it owes you an apology.
I've done that. I opened my phone to check the time and somehow ended up researching chairs for 20 minutes.
That's not just bad habits. It's a brain pattern. Every interrupt, every ping, every little alert pulls your attention away from the task you were building.
The result is a breakdown in momentum. Not a dramatic crash, just a quiet, annoying cracking apart of your energy, your confidence, and your progress.
And the worst part is that it doesn't always look serious from the outside. You're still sitting there. You're still working.
But inside, the job is getting delayed because your mind keeps starting over.
That's why people feel so stuck. They don't always need more talent or more time. They need fewer interruptions.
Right, and the emotional cost is real. You start the day with ambition, then by lunch you feel scattered, irritated, and weirdly tired.
It's exhausting to keep rebuilding your attention all day long. It feels like carrying groceries up 10 flights of stairs, except the stairs keep changing.
Let's make it concrete. Imagine you have to write a report. You tell yourself, I'll just do the outline.
Then your phone buzzes. You check one notification, then another. Then you remember a reply you forgot to send.
And now the outline is gone. Your train of thought is gone and your coffee is cold. Classic modern tragedy.
That's where focus matters. Focus isn't a magical superpower. It's a protected space.
Exactly. Focus grows when your environment stops asking for your attention every few seconds.
So the real question is not, why am I lazy? It's, what keeps interrupting the work before it can even begin?
And the answer often points to the setup around you. Your phone is too close. Your notifications are too loud. Your tabs are too many.
And your brain is being asked to do the impossible, stay deep, while being poked all day long.
That's like trying to read a book while someone keeps tapping your shoulder and asking, "Did you see this? Did you see this? Did you see this?"
There's a word for the whole pattern of interruptions and broken attention: distraction, not just noise, but anything that steals your next useful thought.
And once distraction gets in, it multiplies. One small glance can trigger a breakdown in your plan. Then you spend the next hour trying to get your brain back.
That's why a lot of people feel guilty. They think they're weak, when really they're fighting a system built to interrupt them.
We should also say this clearly. The problem isn't that you're incapable of focus. Your brain can focus, but it needs structure.
Right, and structure can be simple. You don't need a perfect morning routine, a silent house, or monk-level discipline.
You just need a few guardrails that make it easier for your mind to stay with one thing long enough to finish it.
Because otherwise the day turns into a little comedy of errors. You open a document, then a chat app, then a shopping page, and somehow you're comparing toothpaste.
That is painfully accurate. And yes, I've absolutely stared at a cart full of random items and thought, how did I get here?
Same. The tab count gets ridiculous, and suddenly your computer looks like a digital junk drawer.
Let's zoom in on the feeling underneath all this. People often say, I'm just not disciplined. But that's too simple.
Because what they're really describing is friction. The task feels heavy, the temptation feels close, and the gap between intention and action gets wider.
And every time you break your attention, you pay a tax. You lose a little time, a little energy, and a little belief in yourself.
That's the spiral. First you lose minutes, then you lose momentum, then you lose confidence.
And once confidence drops, you start avoiding the task, which creates even more delay.
So the delay is not random. It follows a pattern, one that's easier to see once you name it.
Try this for a second. Think of yesterday. How many times did you shift from one thing to another before finishing your main task?
And while you're thinking about it, notice what happened in your body. Did your chest tighten? Did your eyes jump to the screen? Did your mind feel noisy?
Those little signs matter, because distraction isn't only in the phone. It's in the urge, the reflex, the habit loop.
That's why we're not treating this like a moral failure. We're treating it like a design problem. And design problems can be changed.
Exactly. If the environment keeps triggering you, then the answer is to change the environment, not keep blaming your willpower.
And once you see that clearly, the whole thing gets less shameful and a lot more solvable.
There's also something subtle happening when attention keeps breaking. Your brain has to restart again and again, and that restart is expensive.
Not expensive in money, expensive in mental effort. Every restart drains a little more of your day.
So by 4 p.m., you're not just tired, you're emotionally bargaining with your own to-do list.
Maybe tomorrow becomes your unofficial life slogan.
Guilty. I've negotiated with a spreadsheet like it was a hostage situation.
And that's exactly why this topic matters. Because when distraction keeps winning, your goals don't disappear all at once. They quietly fade.
The good news is that the pattern is visible, and once it's visible, you can interrupt the pattern before it interrupts you.
And in a minute, we'll show you how to build that protection in a way that feels realistic, not overwhelming.
We're not talking about becoming a different person. We're talking about protecting the version of you that already wants to get things done.
So let's keep going, because the next part is where this becomes practical. And there's a phrase for one of these ideas that you're going to hear a lot.
Yep, and later we'll break that phrase down in our word tour. For now, just remember, distraction is sneaky, focus is fragile, and every interrupt has a cost.
And once you see that clearly, you stop calling it laziness and start seeing the pattern. Okay, here's where people usually split. Some say digital distractions are just a habit problem, and others say the environment is doing way more damage than we admit.
I'm with the second group. If your phone is right there, if notifications keep landing, and if every app is built to grab you, then your focus is getting attacked all day long. And that's not a small issue.
But hold on. If we blame the environment for everything, aren't we giving ourselves an excuse? People still finish deep work in noisy places. People still write, study, and create when life is messy.
Sure, but that doesn't mean the distractions aren't shaping the outcome. A distraction doesn't just steal a minute, it can interrupt your thought chain, and then the whole task gets harder to restart. That's not weakness. That's how attention works.
I get that. But I think there's a deeper layer. When someone keeps breaking down their own concentration, the problem isn't only the ping on the screen. Sometimes it's the panic that follows. You see the message, you feel behind, then your brain starts racing.
Exactly, and that panic can create a breakdown of confidence too. You stop trusting your own ability to finish anything without checking something else. So yes, the phone starts it, but the emotional spiral keeps it going.
But if we say it's all the phone's fault, people might stop taking responsibility. I don't buy that, because even when the phone is silent, some people still find a reason to drift away, open another tab, check another feed, search one more thing.
And that's why I'm not saying the device is magic. I'm saying the design is powerful. Every alert is an interrupt. Every interrupt makes focus more expensive. Once your brain expects interruption, it starts preparing for it. And that lowers your ability to stay with one thing.
That makes sense, but I still think the emotional reaction matters just as much as the device. Some people hear a notification and feel ashamed immediately, like they've already failed. That shame can be bigger than the distraction itself.
True, and that shame is exactly what keeps the cycle alive. You feel scattered. Then you think, why can't I just get it together? Then you feel worse, and the next time you sit down, your brain already expects another breakdown.
So we're arguing about the starting point. But maybe the real issue is the loop. The phone interrupts, your focus splits, your confidence drops, and then you chase relief by checking again.
Yes, but I'd still say the loop starts with access. If a distraction is always one tap away, self-control has to work overtime. That's why time block strategies matter so much. Though I know you're probably about to push back on that.
You know me too well. I'm not SRAD structure. I just think people overestimate how neat life can be. A time block sounds clean on paper, but real life is full of surprises. Your boss texts, your kid needs help, your brain feels tired, your laundry starts making noise in the background.
Laundry making noise is a dramatic way to put it. But I get your point. Still, time block doesn't mean pretending life is perfect. It means giving one task a clear home so your brain isn't constantly negotiating with 10 open tabs in your head.
But here's my concern. If the plan is too rigid, people feel like they failed the moment the schedule changes. Then they give up. That's a real cost.
Fair, but a time block can be flexible and still useful. You're not carving the day in stone, you're creating a protected window. Even 20 focused minutes can change the momentum, especially if the goal is to start instead of stall.
I like that idea, but I still think people need to hear something kinder than just protect the window. For someone already overwhelmed, a tiny interruption can feel huge.
Absolutely. And that's why the answer isn't more self-blame. It's better conditions. Lower the interruptions, notice the breakdown pattern, and build focus like a skill, not a personality trait.
So, maybe the strongest argument is this. Distractions aren't just a moral failure, and they're not just an app problem either. They're a design problem, a habit problem, and an emotional problem all at once.
Exactly. And if we treat them like a full system problem, then we can finally stop acting surprised when our attention gets pulled apart.
Stay with us, because after this debate, we're going into our word tour and breaking down the 5 expressions we've been using in real conversation.
And if you've ever felt that strange mix of guilt and overload, you're definitely not alone. But you can change the pattern.
So, we've seen how distraction sneaks in, breaks your rhythm, and makes simple work feel huge.
And we've also seen that focus isn't magic. It's something you protect on purpose, one small choice at a time.
Exactly. Next, we're opening our word tour and we'll take those 5 key words out of the story and make them usable in real life.
Stay close, because these aren't just vocabulary items. They're the words that help you talk about the problem clearly.
Okay, let's go back to that messy morning. The one where your phone lights up, your brain slips, and the whole plan starts wobbling. That's where our first word lives, distraction.
Right. A distraction is anything that pulls your attention away from what you were actually trying to do. A notification, a noisy room, even your own curiosity can do it.
And in real life, it sounds like that notification was a huge distraction. Very natural, very common, and honestly painfully relatable.
Or, I keep getting distracted by my phone. Same idea. Just the action form. The feeling is that your mind leaves the room before your body does.
Now, after distraction comes the thing we all want back fast. Focus.
Focus means your attention stays on one thing long enough to actually make progress. It's not about staring at the screen and pretending to work. It's about staying with the task.
So if someone says, "I lost my focus," that usually means they drifted off, maybe because the message, the tab, or the snack drawer won the fight.
The snack drawer is undefeated, but seriously, "I need to focus" is something people say before a call, before studying, or before writing something important. And it's a strong, practical phrase.
The next word is the one that often causes the mess in the first place, interrupt.
To interrupt means to stop someone or something in the middle. A text can interrupt your flow, a person can interrupt your sentence, and a pop-up can interrupt your train of thought.
If I say, "Please don't interrupt me," that sounds polite but firm. And if I say, "Sorry, I got interrupted," that's a very natural way to explain why the task went sideways.
And yes, your brain can feel interrupted too. Not just your meeting, your thinking. That's why the word is so useful in work, study, and everyday life.
Then comes one of my favorite words in this episode, breakdown.
Breakdown can mean a complete failure, or it can mean separating something into smaller parts. In our story, we used it in the first sense your plan had a breakdown after too many interruptions.
So, if someone says, my concentration had a breakdown, they're describing that moment when everything falls apart and the task feels impossible.
But in a calmer sentence, you might hear, let's do a breakdown of the project. That means a clear little part-by-part view, which is actually helpful when your brain feels overloaded.
And that leads us to the phrase that helps you fight the chaos on purpose, time block.
To time block means to reserve a chunk of time for one task only. So instead of saying, I'll work on this sometime today, you say, I'll time block 9 to 10 for writing.
That sounds simple, but it changes the whole mood of the day. Because your brain stops treating the task like a vague cloud and starts treating it like an appointment.
Exactly. And you can even say, I time block my mornings for deep work. That sounds natural, clear, and actually useful in conversation.
Let's do a quick real-life mini-scene. Imagine you're preparing a report and your phone keeps lighting up. You could say, I'm trying to focus, but the distraction keeps interrupting me.
Nice. And if the whole morning fell apart, you might add, my schedule had a breakdown, so I'm going to time block the afternoon and reset.
That's the kind of language that makes you sound more natural right away. Because you're not just naming the problem, you're describing it the way people really talk.
And if you want to sound even more fluent, try linking the ideas together. Distraction first, then interrupted focus, then breakdown, then a new time block. That sequence tells the whole story.
So when you hear these words again, don't just memorize them. Picture the morning, the buzzing phone, the lost focus, and the reset.
Exactly. Language sticks when it lives inside a scene, and these 5 words have already been doing that all episode.
So today we looked at how digital distractions quietly pull your attention away, and why that feels so exhausting. Because your brain keeps restarting instead of moving forward.
And we also talked about the pattern behind it. Distraction, lost focus, interruption, breakdown, then that frustrated feeling of, why am I still not done?
One simple thing you can try today is a short digital guardrail. Turn off non-essential notifications for one work session and see what changes.
Another good move is a time block. Pick one task, set a timer for 25 minutes, and protect that space like it matters, because it does.
And if your day already feels messy, don't wait for a perfect restart. Do a tiny breakdown of the task, choose the first step, and begin there.
That one small step matters more than people think. Once the brain sees motion, focus gets easier to hold on to.
I still catch myself checking my phone when I should be working. And yes, I act surprised every single time, like the app somehow appeared by magic.
Same here. I've learned that I don't need more willpower every minute. I need fewer interruptions and clearer time blocks.
And that's the real win from today's episode. You're not lazy and you're not broken. Your environment may just be asking too much of your attention.
So try one new habit this week. Pick one time block, protect it, and notice whether your focus feels steadier. Small changes can be powerful.
Before you go, we want to hear from you. What's the one digital distraction that steals your focus the fastest?
We read every single comment. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time with more real English for real life.